Hey, everybody. Tiffany here. I'm excited to chat with everyone today. Let's get the chat box open. All right, I think that's working. Welcome to the webinar. I see some people tuning in here. Hey, Haley, Kelsey, Vanessa, Zinda, good to see you guys. All right, let's see. I'm going to share my screen, see if we can make sure all of that's working. All right. Okay. If you guys can type in the chat, let me know if you can see my screen and if you can hear me okay. So type a yes in the chat if you can see those two things. Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Zinda. And we're going to get started right away here. So I know everyone's probably got a fun, busy Saturday planned. We got a lot of music classes going on with our kiddos and everything. So we'll dive right in as a lot of people are trickling in as well, which is great. Lots of new faces and new names on here. All right, so welcome to our webinar. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. I'm really excited to dive in and show you exactly how you can take an exciting journey into becoming a business owner and also be able to get to work from home or from the road and achieve your personal goals when it comes to financial, location, and time preferences. So if you are new here, my name is Tiffany Higgins, and I am a CPA. I'm also a mom of 5, and I founded the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy years ago after experiencing all the wonderful things that happened to my family back in 2015 when I was able to work part-time from home as a self-employed bookkeeping business owner. So I wanted to share that with all of you guys as well so that you had an opportunity to do the same thing that I did without having to go back to school and go through the traditional route of getting a 4-year accounting degree, taking additional classes, studying for the CPA exam, taking the CPA exam, working in a CPA firm for years in order to get enough experience to understand how to start your own business. I wanted everybody to be able to skip that and go right to making money with our support. So that's why we created the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy. And when I had my bookkeeping business, we had so much quick success that we weren't expecting. For example, within about 7 months of starting my LLC, I had enough money to cover all of our bills. So my husband was able to actually quit his job as well. And we both got to be home all the time with our kiddos. So I want to show you guys how you can replicate that same success, how it works, how a bookkeeping business works, and why it's so profitable. So we're going to talk about that today. But during the time that I had my bookkeeping business, not only was I able to pay all the bills, but I was also able to continue to grow my family and still care for all of my kids while my business was still thriving and growing. We ended up having twins, nursed twins for several years. We moved to a different city, and then we decided to start homeschooling our older kids. And during this whole entire time, my bookkeeping business kept thriving and kept growing. And we were making more in the bookkeeping business than my husband and I had ever made in our combined salaries. And we were working less than one full-time work schedule, which was really awesome. And that gave us the opportunity to not only have more money than we've ever had before, but to also then be able to be there for our kids and have that flexibility where we didn't have to choose between working and being the kind of family or the parents that we wanted to be. So if that sounds like something that you guys are interested in learning about, type a yes or put your favorite emoji in the chat and let me know what you think. Is this why you're here, to learn about this kind of stuff and figure out how you can have your cake and eat it too, basically? So Erica says yes. Vanessa says yes. Kelsey says yes. Awesome. Okay. So, just real quick, our mission here at the Bookkeeper Academy is to empower people to become financially independent without sacrificing the connectivity with their families by offering the education and framework to launch their own bookkeeping business. So that's literally what our entire company is about. And that's what we're going to be teaching you today on this webinar, is how this works, how you can do it. Our motto, if you're in our Facebook group, is called Have Your Cake and Eat It Too, because we believe that you shouldn't have to choose. You should get to have both. You can be the kind of parent that you want to be, or you can lead the kind of life that you want to be for yourself without having to choose between that and making money. So you should be able to still reach your financial goals, but also be able to live the lifestyle that you want to live and have the flexibility that you want to live. So that is our mission and our motto. And I am curious today who all is on the call with me. So if you have been on one of these calls here recently, type a 1 in the chat. If you have not attended a live webinar with me before, type a 2. I'd love to see who all we have in here. All right. Well, welcome back, Bill and Vanessa and Margie. This is awesome. And welcome to all the new people that are here as well. And we're going to go over lots of information on this webinar, and I'll stay on until the end, till all of your questions are answered. If you're able to stay on. If you have to leave early, that's okay. This will be recorded, and my husband, Sean, will be sending you all a text and getting you guys the link to the replay and answering any questions that you still have. If you are able to stay on or jump back on and stay till the end, of course, I'll be here to answer all of your questions as well. So let me know as we go along if anything is confusing or if you have any questions for me at all. And just so you guys know, we do these webinars every Thursday and Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. So hop back on as many times as you need to feel ready to take the plunge and get all your questions answered. You can invite your friends, family members, or anyone else that you think will help you make this decision. Everyone is welcome to the webinar. And my husband, Sean, is on here. He says, so happy to be here with you all. So if you guys do have questions, feel free to type them in the chat, or you can use this Q&A feature. This is nice because they it puts right in a poll and in order for your questions, so I won't miss any. So you can use the Q&A feature. We love questions here. It's one of our main support features, is being able to pull questions out of people. How can we help you? What can we do? What's confusing you? What is stumping you in your business, so that we can help you figure that out and get you to the next level. So that's the same with this webinar too. We would love to answer any question. No question is stupid. No question is too small. So please drop those in the Q&A or drop them in the chat if you have any. I want to make sure you guys have complete clarity on this entire process. Okay, so kind of the agenda for today in our webinar. The first thing that we're going to go over is investment options. I want you guys to understand right away what our Bookkeeper Academy investment amount is, and then also how do you get funding or financing to join our program if you don't happen to have that money available to you right now. Everybody that wants to join our program is 100% approved by our lender. The only requirement is that you have the monthly payment available. So even if you don't currently have a job right now, or if you don't have the best credit, you're still going to get approved to join our program because of our lender, and they have such a great working relationship with us, and they know our students will have success so quickly that they don't worry about loaning money to people no matter what your situation is. So if you're in one of those situations where you really need to make some changes with your financial situation, this could be a really great opportunity to do so. So I'm going to go over that first so you guys have an idea of exactly what that looks like. And over this whole process, you'll understand how you can turn that investment into a lot more money for your family. Then the second thing we're going to talk about is your goals. What goals do you have for yourself, for your family, and then what would you have for your business? So it's really important to kind of get an idea of what your goals are, so that way I can show you the exact roadmap on how you can reach them, how and when, so you guys have a really good idea of how long it's going to take you. And then the third thing we're going to dive into is the why and the how a bookkeeping business will help you reach those goals. So you know exactly what this business is all about, how this is going to work for you, and be able to map out that plan for your family. And then the last thing we'll dive into is exactly how our team will help you set the foundation for your bookkeeping business so we can ensure your success and really help you speed along to reaching those goals that you set for yourself in step 2. So I think we have a few questions. I'll get to that real quick. Erica says, my long-term goal is to be primarily able to homeschool my kids in the future. They are still too young to start. Are you still homeschooling? And is this a realistic goal to have while also having a bookkeeping company? Yes, absolutely. So we just in the last 2 months decided to send our kids to school, but we have been homeschooling our kids since 2018. And they just started to go to school this year. So all 5 of them were homeschooled for the last, 5 years. And now we have an 18-year-old who's going to taking some college classes. And then we have our twins are in kindergarten and our other daughter is in 3rd grade. And then we have one child who is a senior this year, but is still doing homeschooling. Now, I will have to say, there's a million different ways that you can homeschool, and that's a whole different topic that we could talk about. So when you homeschool and you run a business, you'll probably like ebb and flow on your schedule. Like, what are you going to do this week or this day? How's it going to work? So we started out really detailed, really structured for a while. And then we kind of went to more of like an unschooling approach and things like that. So we've changed it up throughout the years, but it is very, very doable, very, very realistic to be able to homeschool your kids while having a bookkeeping company. And I'll show you, I have a chart, Erica, here pretty soon that I'll show you on exactly how much you can make and then how long it takes you to actually do the bookkeeping work for clients. So you can kind of get an idea of what that time commitment looks like for your business, what your schedule would look like, and then you can be able to kind of in your mind plan out, how is this going to work if I'm going to homeschool and run my business? So I will share that with you here soon. And she also said, I'm currently 7 months pregnant. Realistically, what would you say would be the best plan for me to start? So that's a little bit different for everybody. I would say it's still a pretty good idea to get started now and get the foundation set for your business, get all of the one-time back office things set up, get your marketing rolling, which we'll talk all about that here in a little bit as well. And then that way, in anticipation of your baby's arrival, you'll already have a lot of those one-time things knocked out and done, and you won't have to do them. And then you'll be able to maybe take on a client here and there. I will say, I don't know how many kids you've had or how experienced you are with newborns, but having babies is really challenging, and having a newborn is really challenging at home. So juggling all of that, it's very doable to have your bookkeeping business and bring on new clients during this time. But it also is dependent on how much help you have at home, right? So if you are doing this completely by yourself and you literally have no help, it might be a little difficult to do your bookkeeping business and have a newborn baby at home. But for me, my husband and I, we work together a lot in this. And when I brought my 3rd child home, she was about 6 months old when I decided to quit my job and start my business. And it was very doable for me to grow it. I mean, like I mentioned, it only took me about 7 months to grow my business to the point that my husband could quit his job. And I personally didn't love working at home with my daughter by myself. So I was really on a mission to work really hard to get my husband home so that way he could help me and we could take turns. So that was really nice to be able to have that. But it is doable. And I was able to take my daughter with me to networking events if I went to anything. And I just did some work here and there while she was playing or when she napped. And then, of course, when my husband got home from work, I would do some work then and do some work on the weekends and stuff like that, just at the beginning until he was able to come home. So I hope that answers your question. Of course, Erica, Sean will also be available to text you today. So if you want to hop on the phone and we can all have a quick conversation about that too, we're really here to help you make the best decision for your family. So if that means getting started now and getting some things out of the way in anticipation, then great. If it means to wait until your baby's here, that's a great option too. So anyway, I hope that helped. And we are going into tax season. So getting started now is a really, really great plan because as you get everything set up right now, there's going to be so many people looking for clients, looking for bookkeeping help starting in January. So you won't even really have to try that hard to get clients, which is really fantastic. Awesome. I'm glad that really helped, Erica. We're here to help you guys. Okay, so just so you guys know, we're going to dive into the details of the investment first, and then we're going to move on to the other stages of the webinar so you guys can get an idea of how to map this out and plan for your family. So our Bookkeeper Academy program is a 12-month program, and we literally take you from $0 to $100,000 in your first 12 months of being in the program. And that's from starting from scratch with very little to no experience as a business owner or as a bookkeeper. Our program to be in the Bookkeeper Academy for 12 months is $12,000. And again, it goes from $0 to $100,000. We do have a really awesome payment plan that we can allow you guys to take advantage of as well. But keep in mind what we're aiming to do in the Academy is get you guys a 10x return on your investment. So we are helping you grow your business to where that one initial investment is not only going to make you $100,000 to $120,000 in your first year, but then it usually doubles every year after that. So I have a student that we just went to Jamaica with a couple of weeks ago, and she's made almost close to $600,000 since she started her business 4 years ago. And now as she's entering her 5th year in business, she is on track to actually make $500,000 this year. And kind of similar to your situation, Erica, she started her business with a toddler at home. And over the course of the last 4 years, they had another baby. She retired her husband and continued to grow her business with that flexibility of being able to be home. Her first child literally just started kindergarten this year, and her second child has been home with them the whole time. So it's very easy to juggle this. In terms of easy, there's lots of different things you could say as easy, like just being able to be home with your kids all the time and doing all these things. It's easy to be able to do that. Now, juggling a business and taking care of your kids 24/7 can just be hard as it is, right? But it is generally easy to accomplish that. If that's your goal, to be able to be home with them and also grow your business and make money, it is fairly easy to swing all of it. So as I mentioned, our lender for the Bookkeeper Academy, they have decided to approve everybody that wants to apply for the program. So even if you don't have the best credit, or maybe you just lost your job or something like that, you still will get approved. The only caveat is that you just need to be able to afford the monthly payment. So you will be approved and you will be able to get into the program, even if you don't have the $12,000 on a credit card or in your savings account right now. Now, the monthly payment that you will expect is about a $640 monthly payment. So when you are ready, if you are ready to join the Bookkeeper Academy by the end of this webinar, if you decide to get started right now, all you need is the $640 down to get started. And I'm going to drop the links in here for you guys to apply for funding. But you want to wait and apply for funding when you have the actual down payment available, because the lender moves so fast since they're approving everybody, there is no delay at all. So when you fill out the form, it takes about 5 minutes to apply for funding. Within a couple of hours, they send you your approval notice. They get you on a call, collect your payment, and then we onboard you into the Academy. So you guys could literally be into the Academy. Since it's Saturday, it would be Monday morning when you would get onboarded into the program, which is really awesome. And all you need is that $640 down payment. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the links in here. So if you guys are interested in applying right now, you can do do so. Now, this is US based. I have a separate link in here if you're in Canada. Canada, unfortunately, does not do the guaranteed funding. It's traditional funding routes. But there's the links if you guys you do know that you have that $640 down and you're ready to get started. You're welcome to apply right now. But of course, I'm going to go over all this stuff. So if you're new here, you probably don't know what you're applying for, right? Also, the payment plan is over a 24-month period. So if you don't pay it off early, there will be interest with it. However, if you pay it off within 12 months, it's totally interest-free, which is really, really awesome. And a lot of our students are able to do that. And I'll show you how here on an upcoming slide, how they're able to pay it off early and ahead of schedule and get that interest-free. Okay, so before we dive in, I have a quick question for you guys. I'd love to know what you think about making $100,000. Do you guys believe that that is something that's possible for you? So if you have the right tools, the right opportunity, and the right mentor, could you make $100,000 working part-time from home? So type a 1 for yes, I do believe in myself and that I could accomplish that with the right guidance. Or type a 2 for no, I can't possibly imagine how I could ever make that kind of money for my family. And either way is okay. It's also like this is just based on our previous past experiences in our life and what we've been taught up until this point. But I'm always curious on the calls, like, who believes that this could actually happen? And I'll be honest, when I started my bookkeeping business, I had no idea. My goal was to make $2,000 a month. I had no idea I'd be able to make $100,000 in a year working part-time. I thought I would have to work for a CPA firm for years before I ever made that. So I love that we've got a lot of 1s. Margie is kind of on the fence. Great. Erica says 2. I understand it. Bill says, I've done it before, just need something different that allows me to work remote anywhere because of changes in my family. I love that. Yes, absolutely. Great. This is going to be great for you, Bill. I'm definitely interested to see what you think about this. Okay. Are you guys ready to get started? I want to dive in with your goals and then show you how you can make $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 per month, starting from ground zero. So drop a fire emoji or a thumbs up or a yes in the chat if you are also ready to get started. Great. Awesome. Okay, so the first thing I like to do on these calls is to help you guys determine what your goals are for your family. And then you're going to take those goals, and I'm literally going to walk you through how you're going to reach those goals and the timeline with your business. So the 3 main goals that we like to talk about are financial, time, and location goals. These are all super important because this all affects your quality of life. Your financial goals, how much money you have available to you, that affects your life because you can do more things, right? And then from there, you have time goals. How much time freedom do you want to have? How much time do you want to devote to work, to your business? But how much time do you want to devote to your family, to you as a person growing and developing and having hobbies and enjoying life? And then also location goals. Do you have family that live across the country that you never get to see because you never have PTO or you don't have the money to take vacations? Or do you just really wish that you could just work from home and avoid that commute? All those things. So we're going to dive in and talk about all 3 of these goals, and I'll show you with a bookkeeping business how you can reach all of them. But the first thing we need to dive into is financial goals, because none of the other goals can be achievable until you reach some financial goals, because money is what gives you the opportunity to reduce your time and to be able to travel, right? So we're going to talk about financial goals first, and we're going to break those down into 3 categories. So the first one is financial goal number 1. So this one is what I call a bare minimum goal. This is like a basic goal that you would want to hit to give yourself confidence that you're like, hey, I'm on the right path. This business is really working for me and I'm excited to take it to the next level. So, think about what that bare minimum goal would be for you to really make you feel like, now I want to step on the gas pedal because I really see this working. So for me, to give you an example, back in 2015, my bare minimum goal was $2,000 per month. Back then, I was making about $3,500 per month after taxes at my CPA job, but I decided to hire a nanny to take care of my third child because I did not want to put her in daycare. But I didn't feel like daycare was a good option for my older two kids either. But back then, I decided to quit my job and stay home with them. And we were so poor and it was so challenging. And this time, when I had my third daughter, I did not want to go through that again, but I still did not want to put her in daycare. So we decided to scrap up enough money to somehow figure out how to pay a nanny. So it was really, really hard on our budget, but we figured it out somehow. So I took my net pay, subtracted out what I was paying the nanny, and I knew if I quit my job, but I found enough clients where I was making $2,000 a month, that I'd be back to where I was. So we would be able to be okay, at least for a while. So that was my bare minimum goal. So I want you guys to type in the chat, what is your bare minimum goal? It can be anything that works for your family, maybe just a portion of your family's expenses, or, whatever ballpark number that you have that you would want to make in your business that would help you to start pivoting away from whatever undesirable situation you're currently in. So Bill said he would need 3,000. Zinda needs 2,500. I only needed 2,000 at least to get started. So everyone else, what is your bare minimum goal? 2,500 for Kanesha, 2,500 for Erica. Awesome. Okay, 2,500. Great. 2,000 a month. Perfect. 3,000 for Aya. Good to see you, girl. All right. Okay, so now you guys have that written down. Let's talk about financial goal number 2. This one is where you're a little bit more comfortable and content. Maybe you're not having to worry about budgeting every penny, or you don't have to worry about checking grocery prices, or you can go out to dinner on a whim, or it allows you to start reaching some of your lifestyle goals. So think about that for a minute. For me, yes, Bill says factor in the payment plan if you're taking that route. Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely do that. Add a little $640 to whatever your goal is. Great idea. So for me, for my second goal number 2, this is where I knew that I could cover all of my bills, but then we weren't really comfortable yet because I wanted my husband to quit his job. So then we were going to be losing his income. But this was at least enough to make us feel like we're on the right track. We weren't going to be behind on any of our bills or anything like that, but we were able to let my husband retire from his job. So for me, we needed to make about $5,000 to $6,000 per month to be able to get by for a little bit with my husband quitting his job, losing that pay, but still being able to pay all of our bills. So type in the chat, what would be your next financial goal number 2, where you're kind of covered, content, worry-free. If you didn't get any more clients, you'd be okay. But obviously we all have bigger goals we want to reach. But this one would be your financial goal number 2. So Aya says 6,000, Bill says 6, Kelsey 6, Vanessa 5, Erica 4 to 5, Zinda 5. Awesome. Okay. So we're all kind of like similar range. This is great. All right. Then we have a financial goal. Margie says 6,000. Financial goal number 3 is your wow goal. So think about this one for a minute. If you could start reaching some of your family's big financial goals, bucket list items, things like that, what do you think you would actually need to bring in each month to really start making some of those things a reality? So for us, it was about $10,000 a month is what we really wanted to be able to bring in. We wanted to buy a new car. We wanted to stop worrying about penny pinching. We wanted to be able to upgrade our house, maybe get a house with a pool. We wanted to be able to take family vacations. When I was working in my CPA firm, I watched my boss travel all the time, and he took family vacations constantly and working vacations and just got to travel a ton. And I always wanted to do that. But with what I was making and with my commitments with my work, I never got to do that. But if I knew if I made about $10,000 a month, I could start doing those things. So what would be your financial goal number 3? So it looks like Aya says 12,000, Bill's at 13, Kanisha's at 14, Margie's at 10, Erica's 7 to 8, Zinda's 12, Vanessa's 15. Awesome. Love it. These are great goals. Probably lowballing. That's okay. You know, what's really great too about what I've seen helping thousands of people go through this process and grow their business. even if you start with a really small goal, I've seen people's goals expand and explode because as they start reaching those small goals, the 1, the 2, the real small ones that they first set for themselves, it blows their mind and it opens up their belief that they can actually attain bigger ones. And so then they start striving for bigger goals too. So sometimes that's what people need to do, is have little lower goals, and then they develop the confidence that they can expand those goals and reach them. So that is okay too. Okay, so now that you've got your financial goals situated, let's talk for a second about your time goals. So I want you guys to calculate up how many hours per week that you're currently dedicating to your job. So it can be the time that you're clocked in, but also factor in all those hours that you're actually away from home, away from the family, or unable to do anything for yourself because you're dedicating it to work. So you want to include like your lunch break, you want to include commuting, anything like that. So for me, I didn't really have a commute. I worked through my lunch typically. So I was really gone about 40 hours a week. But my husband, on the other hand, he had a very long commute. He had to be at work a little over 9 hours every day for his lunch break. And sometimes he got stuck there late. So he typically worked a 60-hour work week, or at least those were the total hours he was gone away from home. So for him, it was 60. For me, it was 40. So type how many hours in the chat that you guys are away from your family. Aya says 55. Kanisha says 72, Zinda says 65, Vanessa's 40 to 45. All right, awesome. So this will be important when I show you guys an upcoming slide on how much time it's going to take you to do the bookkeeping work for your clients. So type those hours in the chat. Teresa says 140 because you're traveling. You're doing the traveling stuff, right? Yes. So now type in the chat, if you could pick, what would be the preferred number of hours that you would work per week? Don't factor in money. Let's say you have as much money as you want, but how many hours would you really ideally like to work? And of course, a lot of you guys might say 0 because that would be great. But realistically, how many hours would you be comfortable putting in if you could make however much money you want? So Erica says, I'm home full time, but my husband is gone over 60 hours. Yes, absolutely. So similar situation than what I was in, Erica. Aya says 20, 15, 10 to 20. Okay, Bill's happy with working 40. I love it. Okay, great. This is awesome. Now, when you have a bookkeeping business, you're going to get to not only choose the amount of hours that you put into it, especially once you get to a certain level and you can start building a team and your team can carry out some of the work for you, but you also get to pick the time of day and the day of week that you want to work. It's super flexible and you guys can change it up from week to week. So if you have something going on or you want to travel, you can work 5 hours one week and 15 hours the next week instead of 10 and 10, So it's really, really nice. I'd love to work 10 to 15 hours and have the husband home. Totally doable, Erica. I love that. Okay. So now that we kind of have an idea of clarity of like what we're working right now, what we would like to work, let's talk about location. What location freedom goals do you guys have for yourself? Type in the chat. Do you want to work from home? Do you want to be able to visit family? Do you want to be able to just, be a digital nomad and travel around? Do you want to live in an RV? Like, what is your personal goal when it comes to location? So for us, I wanted to be able to work from home because I wanted to be available anytime my kids needed me. But I also wanted to get up and travel whenever we felt like it. All summer long, if we wanted to go visit family or go here and there, I wanted to be able to do that without anybody telling me that I could or couldn't. So Erica says work from home. Aya wants total freedom, all of the above for Kanisha. Bill wants to be a digital nomad RV. You called me out in that one. Awesome. I love it. Yes. Would be so fun to do that. And I will tell you, Bill, the only reason why I don't do that is because my kids don't like it. Gosh dang it. When they get a little bit older, I am never going to have a house again. I'm literally going to just bounce all over the world. So love that. It's going to be so fun. All right. Yes, all of the above. Okay, great. Okay, so with a bookkeeping business, because it is all virtual, you are able to do these things. And what's really great is that you can do these things with your flexibility, with your schedule, because you can complete your work with bookkeeping from your laptop. But you also have the money to be able to do it, because a little spoiler alert, when you have a bookkeeping business, you're going to make about a minimum of $100 an hour doing this work. So it gives you not only the extra income coming in, but the time. You don't have to work 100 hours a week to be able to afford all of this traveling either, which is really cool. And I'll show you more details on that as well. But then, of course, we all have additional goals too. I've had students that have paid off a ton of debt. I like to give this example of a student named Jara. Jara joined our academy. She was one of our original students back in 2019, and she grew her business. Erica, similar to you, she was home with her kids. She didn't have newborns, but she had 4 young kids, all in elementary school age, and she was homeschooling them. Her husband had just finished chiropractic school. He went to some extended chiropractic college where he had about $160,000 of debt. And he went and he was working at a chiropractic office. And that was their main source of income before she started her bookkeeping business. Then she started her business while she was homeschooling her kids. And she ended up growing her business and putting all of the money that she made with her bookkeeping onto their student loan debt. It was $160,000, and she paid that off in about 2 years. And this was all working part-time at home with her kids, and her husband was working his job outside. And then by the time that happened, I need to dig up the post for you guys. I'll have Sean text that out to you guys, but she actually posted in the group and laughed because she was making more working part-time at home than her husband was working as a full-time chiropractor, and she didn't have any debt, and he had all of that debt that she actually paid off with her bookkeeping business. So it's really incredible to be able to do that. I'll show you guys how she did that too with her reoccurring revenue, but also with new client cleanup jobs, because that can be a really great way to be able to pay off debt fast. I've also had a lot of students like this girl named Chelsea, and a lot of other students have bought their dream homes. People that thought that they were going to be renting forever, and ended up being able to afford a really nice forever home, like skip that starter home and go right to like a $500,000 dream home that they can stay in. And a lot of times these people are able to get approved for this stuff, even when their bookkeeping business is their only source of income. And then, of course, you can use your profit in your bookkeeping business. Since you're going to get such a big return on investment in your business, then you can use that extra profit to invest in those smaller passive things like the stock market or 401k or real estate or whatever floats your boat with the investing. So one of the things that we liked to do is when I celebrated my 1-year anniversary for my bookkeeping business, I bought a brand new car. I'd never had a brand new car before, and I really wanted to be able to do that. It was a $45,000 van, and I got approved for that solely with my bookkeeping business income only. That was the only income coming into our family. And not only did I get approved for it, but we actually paid it off within about 6 months. So we literally haven't had a car payment on this van since the beginning of 2017, and we still drive it. It still works. And then we took this van and we went on a 16-day vacation across the country with our kids and my niece here and our dog. And we went to Colorado, California, and the Grand Canyon. And what was great about this is like, I just brought my laptop with me and I just did the bare minimum. Like if a client had like an emergency request or something, I would hop on my email and help them, or I would just do a little bit of bookkeeping here and there if it was urgent. And then I waited until I got home, and then I just caught up on all my work, because bookkeeping is typically a monthly deadline type of service that we provide. So you're able to structure your schedule on a rolling month instead of like every day you've got to be at your desk, or every single week you've got to be at your desk. It doesn't have to be like that. So I was able to be really present and really enjoy this vacation, and I hardly had to work at all, which is really, really great. So out of all of those things, all of those goals, what other big ticket goals, bucket list items do you guys have? Can you type that in the chat? What exactly do you want to do? Like if you hit your 10K per month or 15K per month, your wow goal, what are some of the things that you're going to want to do with that money? So type that in the chat. Is it vacations? Is it buying a really nice RV? Aya wants to build a homestead. I love that. buy a new car, buy a house, or just like pay off debt, build up your savings. I love that, paying off debt for Zinda too. Okay, great. So I can't even imagine. There's so many things. There's so many things you could do. So this is what's really important too, and why I start our webinars like this too, because Erica and everybody else, I want you guys to get thinking about like, what goals do I have? What do I really want out of life? Because this bookkeeping business can help you accomplish all of them, but you have to stay focused on what those are. What are you working for? What are you working towards? Why do you even want to do this? Because sometimes when you do start a business, there can be rough patches. It can be hard to stay focused when you have a million other things going on in your life. But if you know that your business is going to help you reach these goals, then you're going to be able to stay focused and keep taking steps forward. We have a full roadmap to show you that slide right now. We have a full roadmap on exactly how you can reach all of these goals. And the only rule, the only caveat is that you just have to take the step. You have to take one step and then the next step and the next step. And if you continue to do that, you're going to reach all of these goals that you have for yourself. So it's really important to know what those are. Like, why are you even putting the time and effort into doing this, right? So it's great. And it's fun too. It's fun to sit and talk about, what life can be like in 6 months or 12 months, So debt relief, vacations, build a house, emergency savings, buy your own car, land, tiny small home, horse farm. Yes, 1% better every day. It sounds simple. It sounds small, but when you look back after a year, it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. And that goes with a lot of things in life, your health, your, dieting, weight, whatever, working out, but it also goes with your business. If you do just 1% more every single day, it compounds like crazy. Yep. Okay, so I want to show you guys the exact roadmap now where you can see how long it's going to take you to achieve these goals and what you can expect as far as if I put that 1% in every day, which for us is typically about an hour a day into your business. You can kind of see some of these results. Now, as you start getting clients, you'll be spending more time working with them. But at the beginning, an hour a day is really what we recommend. And here is about how long it's going to take you to reach your goals. So on average, it takes our students, they usually add about $1,000 a month to their reoccurring revenue in their bookkeeping business for every month they're in business on average. And this is from us, like taking all of our students in the past, finding out how much they're making at various stages of their business, and then averaging that out. So like, for example, if I wanted to hit my first goal of $2,000 a month, on average, we see that it takes about 2 months for students to get there. Same with like the next goal. If my next goal was 5,000 per month, it's going to take me about 5 months to get there. Now, sometimes it happens where it's like clockwork, 1,000, 2,000 in 2 months, 3,000 in 3 months, 4,000 in 4 months. Sometimes it's like, maybe nothing until you hit 3 months. And then all of a sudden you get a client. Now you're making $3,000 a month. So sometimes it happens like that. But on average, you can expect to make about $1,000 a month for every month you're in business. And then once you have your first year, from there, it tends to double each year. If you want to keep growing, if you continue to market, you can easily double your business every year, which is really awesome. So if you look at this, it kind of gives you an idea of the time frame that you'll be able to get to your different financial goals that we set. So like I mentioned, during tax season's coming up in January, and you'll be able to potentially reach your goals even faster since it's such a great time to get started right now with tax season about to hit as well. And this chart is also based on our average student. Our average student either works full-time and has little kids at home, or is like the primary caregiver at home and has a busy schedule. So if that's you, this is the pace that you can expect if you put about an hour, maybe a little bit more in per day, 5 days a week into your business consistently. So that's what you can expect here. Now, if you put less in, it's just going to be slower. Obviously, if you put a little bit more time in, this will happen faster. So if you have more time available, maybe your kids are grown, or whatever, you can potentially reach these goals faster. It's really all about how much time and effort you put in is how quickly that you can grow. So as you guys can see here too, if you invest the $640 to get started, within just a couple of months, you're not only going to be able to cover that payment, but also have an extra couple thousand, $1,800 or whatever, $1,200 to do that. As you guys can see, I'm not so great at math. Nobody has to be good at math to do this. So 2,000 minus 640, you're going to have an extra 1,360 per month by your second month in business, even after making the payment to the academy. So, which is really nice. That's one reason why the lender is going ahead and approving everyone, because they know that you guys can make money pretty quickly. So take a look at this chart. And for me, I knew I needed about $2,000 per month was my first goal. So if I started right now, by January 11th, I would be at this goal. So what is your first goal? Look at that and then find out what month would you be at your very first goal, and type that in the chat. So are you guys, a lot of you guys were similar to me. So that would be like January, you would potentially already be at your first financial goal. So type that in the chat. And then if you want 10,000 per month, that's going to be, let's see, that would be around September for me. September of next year, I would already be at $10,000 per month. Zinda also says 2 months. So type in the chat, what month would you be at when you reached your reoccurring goal? And this goal, or this total income on here, this is just monthly reoccurring income that you get for clients to do their bookkeeping for every month in the future. So for those of you that don't know, when you get a bookkeeping client, you keep them. And it's something that automatically comes from their account to your account every single month. So you can count on it even more so than you can count on your paycheck. It comes in every single month. And so once you get those clients, let's say you get to $5,000 a month and you're like, okay, I'm just going to coast for a while. I don't really want to grow for a little bit. I just want to coast and take on these clients, learn what I need to learn, and just keep them, especially for someone like Erica who wants to focus on her babies and focus on homeschooling. You could get up to your goal and then just stop. And consistently this money is going to come in to your bank account every single month, and you can count on it, and you won't have to spend any additional time marketing or looking for more clients. So that's really awesome. And then I'm being conservative with this chart too, because you can actually make a lot more money each month by taking on new clients and getting cleanup jobs, which I'll show you about here pretty soon. But it looks like everybody's going to be around January or February to reach their first goal. So that would be great, Erica. Then you would be able to get everything set up, everything going, and then have this first goal coming in by the time your baby gets here. Then you can just stop marketing for a while, coast with those current clients, get acclimated to having the new baby. And then when you feel comfortable, start your marketing back up again. So that's something that, you could really do. Okay, so in terms of clients, if you want to make this kind of money on these various months, how many clients do you need, right? So here is a chart that kind of shows you the average amount of clients that you would need at each various level of income that you're bringing in. This is based on an average of clients, because you're going to get clients that range anywhere from maybe $300 a month up to I've have students that have clients that are paying like $4,000 and $5,000. We had this one student named Rick who had a client that was actually paying him like a couple $1,000s a week because he was doing so much bookkeeping work for this large company. So it can range, but I will say on average, most of your clients are going to pay you around $500 a month. And so based on that, if you need $2,000 per month for your first goal, you're only going to need about 4 clients. Now, my second goal, I'd only need about 10, and my WOW goal, I only needed about 20. So again, this is assuming that every client you get is rather small, but it is a range. So for example, I had a student named Kim last year who got a client in December, and that client paid her $2,200 per month. It was her first client. So she hit that first goal there, but she only had one client instead of four. Then if you look at the bottom of the chart where it says $20,000, it says 40 clients on here, but when I had my bookkeeping business and I was making $20,000 a month, I only had 33 clients. So just so you guys kind of have an idea of a range, this is kind of a range. But I want you to look at this and look at your goal here, your first financial goal. Mine was 2,000. Type in the chat, how many clients do you need to reach your first goal? So type that in the chat. And Bill says, what would it look like if we can go all in full time? Great question. And I have a really cool chart that you're going to like to see on that here in about 2 slides. I'll show you. So Vanessa needs 4 to 6 clients. Teresa needs 6. Zinda needs 4 to 5. Awesome. 6 for Bill, 6 for Margie, 4 to 6 for Erica. Okay, so we've kind of got a range of like 4 to 6 for most of you. So now let me show you guys what you're working with. What are your options? What is the potential client pool? How easy or how hard is it going to be to find those clients? So here we have this chart, and it shows the total number of potential clients that there are out there. Now, keep in mind that every single business has to have bookkeeping. They all have to have it, whether they hire you to do it or they try to dabble and do it themselves and then eventually hire you to do it. It has to be done. They can't file their taxes. They can't get loans. And frankly, they can't make good business decisions for their business unless their bookkeeping is done. So all these businesses, every single one of them has to have bookkeeping. And this shows from the SBA.gov that in 2022, there were 33.2 million businesses in existence. That is a ton. And you guys need between 4 and 6 clients to hit your first financial goal. In fact, I only needed 33 clients to hit my $20,000 per month goal. And there's 33.2 million businesses that were in existence just in 2022. And as you can see on this chart, it's a chart of the last 6 years, and every year it's growing. In fact, there's over 500,000 small businesses that are starting up every single month. And we've got bookkeepers and CPAs that are always retiring. We always have people retiring. They're offloading their bookkeeping clients. And there's not as many people getting accounting degrees anymore. So there's not very many people to replace them and pick up the slack, pick up the work from all these people retiring. So there's literally clients everywhere. There's never going to be a shortage of potential clients for you, tons of fish in the sea. And there's never enough bookkeepers out there to help everyone, especially when you only need like 33 to make $20,000 a month, right? But like I mentioned, it also helps that bookkeeping is a required service. It's not a luxury item like Mary Kay or Scentsy or something like that, where you have to try to convince someone that they need. All business owners already know that they need it. And once they get to that pain point of like, I need to stop putting this off, they're already convinced of the value. So finding them because of this huge client pool is relatively easy. Of course, we walk you through how to do that. And then also getting them to say yes is also very easy because they already understand the value. They're already needing the bookkeeping services. So drop a thumbs up in the chat if you guys feel like, based on this potential client pool, that it is doable to reach the amount of clients you need to reach your first goal. Do you feel like it's doable to get 4 to 6 clients? Put a thumbs up in the chat. Bill says, I have owned several businesses in the past, learned early that bookkeepers were the best investment in my company every time. Absolutely. I love that, Bill. Yep. It is so important to have clear financials so you know where your company is going. And that's another really cool thing about becoming a bookkeeping business owner is now you're going to get a chance to be able to provide that peace of mind, that relief, that awesome service, and have clients like Bill where they are so happy that you're helping them do this work. And it feels really good. Not only do you make great money, but you feel great about how you're helping all of these business owners. Now, for those of you that have never done bookkeeping, don't worry. We're going to teach you how to do all of this. So you're going to know. But it feels really rewarding to be able to help all of these business owners. But yes, very easy to get to the client level that you need to get to reach your revenue goals, because there are so many clients out there everywhere. Okay, so to get to Bill's question, what would it look like if we can go full time? I want to now show you guys my favorite slide of the entire presentation. This one is the income versus your time commitment with what it takes to do the actual bookkeeping work. So for my first goal of $2,000 per month, it takes about 4 hours per week to do the bookkeeping work. Now, I want to tell you guys, the reason I quit my job at the CPA firm was because I knew this was going to happen. I knew it to be true. And the reason I knew it to be true was because at the CPA firm, I did all of the bookkeeping for all of the clients that paid my boss to do the bookkeeping. I'm the one that did it. So I knew how much my boss was charging them, but I also knew how long it took me to do the work. And I was working 40 hours a week doing bookkeeping for all of these different businesses. But I knew that, this client paid $500 a month and this client. And I knew if I just had a few of those clients that I could drop my hours down to 4 hours a week and still be netting the same amount that I was after paying my nanny. So I knew if I quit, if I found enough clients to make $2,000 a month and I priced the same way that my boss did, that I would be able to work 4 hours per week. And that's exactly what happened. And over time, over the last 4.5 years, we've helped thousands of other people replicate that same exact pricing model and that same exact schedule for their bookkeeping work. So I want you guys to do a little bit of math here and calculate up how much money do you currently make right now at your job. And you guys all typed in the chat earlier how much time you dedicate to your job. So I want you to subtract out how much you dedicate to your job versus how much you would actually have to work based on this chart if you had a bookkeeping business instead of your full-time job. And in the chat, type how many hours per week that you are going to save. How many hours per week are you going to save? So for me, I'm going to round up. I'll say, okay, I was making from my job about $4,000 a month prior to paying the nanny. So that was 8 hours per week. So then if I decided to do my bookkeeping business instead of my job, I was going to save 32 hours a week right there. And of course, 36 hours a week if you factor in my savings on the nanny. So how many hours per week are you going to save? Zinda says 30 hours. Type that in the chat. How many hours per week would you want to save? Or would you be able to save? Based on your current income and your current time commitment. So Bill would have an extra 24-ish hours right now. Vanessa would have 30 to 35. That's amazing. So imagine that for a minute. If you had all of that time back, you could spend it with your family. You could, Erica, retire your husband. He could help you grow the business. You could pick up a hobby. You could just enjoy your life more, maybe relax more. Or you could do what Bill wants to do and reinvest some of that time back into your business so you can hit goal number 2, goal number 3, start, knocking some of those items off your bucket list. So Bill says, but what does the average ramp up look like if someone can dedicate full time early on? So what's really great about this, Bill, like let's say, for example, you want to just quit your job and you want to dive into this and you want to put 40 to 60 hours a week right into your business right off the bat. There is no ceiling to what you can make. Okay, nothing, no ceiling. So in our academy, our academy is self-paced and it goes along with whatever goal that you have. So our team will work with you whether you're only wanting to make $2,000 a month or you're wanting to make 20. We know how to get you to those levels. So if you want to go faster, we love that. We want to help you reach that. We actually get sometimes frustrated because we want to move faster than other people want to move in their own business, but we love it. We love to help you reach these goals. So you can go as fast as you could possibly dream of it. So if you, let's say you decide to dedicate 40 or even 60 hours a week to your business and you just want to go crazy to see how much money you can make, how quickly you can get up there, the only thing that's going to slow you down is if you get a whole bunch of new clients and they all need cleanup work, and then you have to stop marketing for a minute, learn everything you need to learn, do all of the work, get all of your clients situated, and then into a monthly maintenance mode, and then you turn your marketing back on and go for it. Now, another thing that you could do to keep things going while you're onboarding tons of clients like that is you could also hire someone. So we also have a graduate program where we teach you how to build an awesome team of A-player bookkeepers. So that way you can hire them and they can help do the work as you're just constantly onboarding people. So that's something that you can do as well. But really, I mean, there is no ceiling to how much you can make in this. And the key is just continue to grow your team and continue to scale your marketing, and you can continue to make a ton of money. Now, I normally don't talk about this yet in the presentation, but since we're already talking about it, I just want to show you real quick, Bill, that if you look at this sheet, guys, 40 hours a week under bookkeeping time, you can make $20,000 per month if you want to work full time. But what this also means is if you hire a full-time bookkeeper and they work 40 hours a week for you, they're going to be able to handle the workload for $20,000 worth of monthly bookkeeping clients. Now, the going rate for most staff accountants and bookkeepers is anywhere from like $3,000 to $5,000 per month. 3 is on the super low end, but I have seen it. I have some people that have joined the academy, left bookkeeping jobs that they were literally making $3,000 a month. But we even if we round up to like a really nice salary of $60,000 a year, which is $5,000 a month for a full-time bookkeeper, you're still going to have a $15,000 monthly profit for every full-time team member that you have. So continue to multiply that out. So let me just show you guys, this is how you can have a 7-figure bookkeeping business and hardly have to do any of the work except for maybe the sales and marketing. But if every single, okay, so to have $1 million bookkeeping business, divide that by 12, you need $83,000 per month. If you divide that by the $20,000 monthly income, you're going to need approximately 4, maybe 5 full-time, or 4 full-time and a part-time employee. And you would have $1 million bookkeeping business where you would be profiting around, that's per month, around $720,000 of profit after paying payroll expenses. Are you guys following me with that? I know I kind of went through it a little bit fast and we're talking like way in the future here. And when I'm saying way in the future, it could be just 6 months or a year down the road. For most of my students, their typical growth rate, it's about 2 to 4 years down the road to get to this point. So does that make sense? Does everyone understand the math there? And does that help, Bill? Is that would be my long-term goal? Okay, great. Awesome. So yeah, I get excited because there's no limit to what you can do here. So I can show you an example. I want to show you guys this Facebook. I showed some of you guys this last time, but I have a Facebook message from Jen. She's one of our students that, here we go. Let's see. Jen says, let me pull this over here. Hopefully you guys can see this. Okay. Jen says that I hope you guys are well and settled in your home. I just wanted to give you an update as I'm greatly appreciative for your program. I have finally hit my $10,000 in reoccurring income. This is consistent monthly income. that she has coming in every month, even if she stops marketing. She's had a lot of $10,000 months because of new clients. But she says, I've hired a contractor, one of my sons for bookkeeping, another one for marketing, and a W-2 employee. And I now have 27 clients, a good mixture of bookkeeping and payroll. Once again, I want to thank you for this program and the mentors. So just to kind of give you guys an idea, she started our program in August of 2022. And she took about 2 or 3 months to really learn things. She didn't actually start marketing until about 13 months ago. So she's at $10,000 of reoccurring revenue right now at her 13-month mark. But she has had some majorly huge months. I'll show you guys here pretty soon, but she had a $34,000 month around her 4th or 5th month in the academy because she got a couple of really big cleanup jobs. So anyway, it's very flexible, but there's a lot opportunity for a lot of money to come in and to be able to really grow your business fast. And also, I was asking, that's what I want to do, build a firm. Fantastic. Yes. Okay. So, I'll let you guys take a snap of this if anybody wants to. This is all the charts that we just talked about, all combined. We've got the average time it takes the students to achieve the results, the total monthly reoccurring income at the various time levels, number of hours per week that it takes you to reach the do the bookkeeping work at the various income levels, and then the approximate number of clients that you would need. So if you guys need to snap a screenshot of that, feel free. And then I want to now go into explaining how this works. So does anybody feel like this all sounds amazing, but it sounds like too good to be true? It sounds like a scam. It sounds like, I don't know, crazy. Does anybody feel like that right now? Just type a yes or a thumbs up in the chat if you feel like this seems like too good to be true. And I want to break it down and explain to you, how does this high money, low time business work? How can you have a 7-figure business and not have to do a ton of the work? So I want to break that down, but I'm curious if anybody is feeling that way, feeling kind of skeptical or wondering how it works. No, everybody's good? Okay, well, here's the explanation. There's a couple of few key pillars that make these results possible. The first and most important step in the reason that your bookkeeping business is going to provide you with so much financial freedom and time freedom is understanding how to properly quote your clients. So like I mentioned, when I worked in the CPA firm, I knew what I was getting into and I knew how much time I would have back because I knew how much he quoted and I knew how long it took me to do the work. So I had to really develop down that proper quoting process and really understand how to charge people. So that way I didn't undercharge my services. I didn't undervalue what I was doing. And I made sure that I was creating the same exact replica of the business so that I would able to have that profit that my boss had, right? So this is a skill that takes some time to develop. There are a lot of factors that go into quoting. And obviously in our Bookkeeper Academy, we help you get crystal clear on exactly what to charge a potential client. It's based on a few key factors. One of them is their annual revenue. What size is the company? That right there will help us know, can they afford the monthly fee that we're going to charge? And also based on their revenue, how much work is it going to be? And so we'll know how to charge a little bit based on that. But we also take into consideration what industry they're in. There are some industries that are a little bit more tedious or complex than others. And so we base some of our quotes on that as well. And then we also base it on how organized they are. Do they have one account or 50 accounts? Do they mix their personal and business together? Those are factors that can change our workflow, which would then have a determination on what our overall hourly rate's going to be. So we do take that into consideration as well when we quote the fixed monthly fee. So we do in our academy, we have a quoting tool that you're going to get access to where you ask your clients all of these questions and then they give you the answers and then you input them into the quoting tool and the quoting tool will literally tell you what to charge. And then as a double check, we also have you come to our calls in the academy or submit questions in the group and say, hey, I have this client. Here's all the details. Is this what I should charge them? And then we will help you make sure that the quoting tool and that your thought process is on par with what needs to be charged. So for example, we had a student named Sylvia in the group, and she had a construction client, a new one, and she'd never worked in that industry before. And she figured up that she should charge them probably about $500 a month. She came to one of the calls and she said, but they're wanting this and they're also wanting this and a little bit extra here. And so our team helped her understand that really she should probably be charging $1,000 a month for this client. And so she went back and proposed $1,000 a month to the client. The client understood the value of what he was asking. He said yes. And so now instead of making $6,000 per year from this client, she's going to make 12. So just one interaction with our team helped her make an additional $6,000 per year in her bookkeeping business. And it also helped her develop more repetition and understanding of the whole quoting process. So she's able to continue to quote properly for every single client. So that's the number one thing that makes this work out the way it does. Okay, the second thing that is the most important piece of how this high money, low time business works is proper and efficient workflow. So we work with you in the academy to show you how to be efficient in QuickBooks, how to streamline how you work with each individual client. So that way you're doing the most important work, giving them the most important value, but you're cutting away any unnecessary work or busy work that you think you might need to do that maybe really isn't even important to the client. So we really help you be able to streamline that and get your client the things that you need. We also help you protect boundaries around your clients too. So that way, if they're asking you to do something that is really technically outside the scope of what you agreed upon, then you're able to, charge extra for these things instead of just doing a bunch of stuff for free and then overall making your hourly rate go down. So we really help you with efficient workflow, setting boundaries with your clients and that sort of thing. So between the proper quoting and the efficient workflow, you're going to make a minimum of $100 an hour with your clients. Now we have it in a fixed fee that your clients are paying. They don't even know how long it takes you to get the work done. They have no idea you're making $100 an hour. But if you calculate up the number of hours that you are working per week to do the work and divide that out through the monthly fee, you're going to make usually a minimum of $100 an hour. So those two things coupled together are what make that possible. Does everybody kind of understand that? Type a yes or a thumbs up if you're still with me there. And then I want to also go into explaining that we're going to be helping you build the business with proper quoting and efficient workflow, but we're helping you build it with the end in mind, not just to help you out where you are right now, but let's say, Erica, for example, when your kids are all grown or they're older, you want to ramp up your business. We want you to be able to continue to scale your business and ramp your business up and not have to change up the way that you are doing things to still be profitable as you scale and grow. So for example, like I mentioned, we want your business to be profitable, even if at any point in time, whether it's 6 months from now or 5 years from now, you decide to hire employees. You need to already have your systems and processes in place that you are profitable enough to bring on team members. So in the beginning, before you bring on team members, you're not only going to get that typical profit, but you're also basically paying yourself as an employee. So my boss essentially had enough money left over after paying me that he could have a really awesome lifestyle. And now that's what you are going to get to experience. So until you have employees, you kind of have that double whammy, that extra profit, right? But then when you do have employees, you're still going to be able to be profitable and have a profitable business. So, like we talked about a few minutes ago, back to this chart, if you hire a full-time employee and they work 40 hours a week, they can handle the workload for clients that total about $20,000 per month. If you pay your employee $5,000 a month, which is a really great salary right now for this type of work, then you're going to have a profit of $15,000 per month for every full-time employee that you have on your team and for every full client load that you have on your team. So you're going to have a very healthy profit margin and monthly income and still be able to maintain the schedule and work-life balance you desire as you scale your client load because you can scale your team. Awesome, right? Kenesha says this makes me nervous and excited at the same time. I'm following you though. Yes, it is. It is very exciting. It can be nerve-wracking to start something new like this. And because there's a lot to learn, right? You're going to learn how to start your business. You're going to learn how to be a business owner. You're going to learn how to do bookkeeping. You're going to learn how to do QuickBooks and sales and marketing. And then later you're going to learn how to be a boss. But you're going to take this all, like Vanessa said, 1% a day. You're going to take it and you can move at your own pace. So if you get in here and you want to get to $20,000 a month in your first year, and then you get in there and you're like, actually, I think I want to really take my time and go through this right and do this the right way. You can do that too, whatever feels more comfortable for you. So, but also the last thing I want to go over on how this works is that we're helping you build this business with the end in mind also, because we want you to be able to one day have the option to sell your business if you want to. And the only way that that's going to be possible is if you set them up the way that we show you with proper quoting, efficient workflow, and being able to have a business that's profitable even after you hire employees. And the last part is having a business where eventually you, as the owner, isn't necessarily needed to run it. Like, who all would want to have a business that runs itself? Unlimited profit, continues to grow, and it's running itself. Type a yes in the chat if you'd eventually like to get to that point. I'm super close there with the Academy right now, which is really exciting. Most of what I do is run my team meetings and I do these webinars, which is awesome. And I have built out an accountability rockstar A player team, which is great. And I will tell you, if you do all of this, if you follow the steps this way, then you're going to get yourself in a situation where somebody eventually will want to buy your business. Investors love these types of businesses because of the reoccurring revenue that is dependable every single month, the high profit margin after hiring a team, and the ability for them to be able to buy the business without it falling apart because the owner isn't necessarily needed to be part of the business in order for it to run. So an investor could come in and buy your business and it would still operate. And they love that. That's what these big, business builders love. So you can actually use your business, building your business, as a future retirement plan as well. So for example, if you grow your business and you decide to sell it, you can get anywhere from 1 to 2 times your annual revenue. So if your business is on the smaller side, let's say you're making $200,000 per year and you decide to sell it, you could potentially sell it for $200,000. But if you grow your business bigger, the multiple gets bigger. So let's say you grow your business to where you're making $1 million a year. You could potentially sell that business for $2 million, which is awesome. And it goes up from there. I don't know what the multiple is when it gets up to the 3 and the 10 million and all that kind of stuff. It gets bigger. I think it can go up to like 8. But anyway, I have some students that are actually growing their businesses. They're in their 50s, maybe mid to late 50s, and they're going to grow this business over the next 5 years as big as they possibly can. And then they're going to sell it, and then they're going to retire and travel. So yeah, Bill says 5 to 8%. Yeah, I think it gets all the way up to that. Of course, you need your business to be bigger for that to happen, but really cool. So, at the very beginning, we're going to teach you how to run your business, assuming all of this stuff is going to happen to you in the future. So you're setting the foundation for your business right from day one to have all these future benefits. So that's why it works out to be so advantageous and profitable for you guys in the very, very beginning, prior to having any employees or anything. Okay. One thing I haven't even gone over or talked about yet is back work and cleanup opportunities. Okay. So when you get a new client and you sign them up for monthly reoccurring revenue, that was that first chart I showed you where it was consistent, reoccurring, dependable income for doing all of the bookkeeping going into the future. But 9 times out of 10, when you get a new client, it's because they are behind in their bookkeeping. They haven't done anything for months or sometimes even years in the past. And so when you get a new client, you're going to be able to offer them a monthly maintenance package into the future, but you're also going to be able to charge them for all of the cleanup work that needs to be done in the past. So for example, let's say you get a new client, they filed their 2022 tax return, and so they're good there, but they've done nothing else. They've done no bookkeeping. So you need to do their bookkeeping from January 1 of 2023 all the way up until present, and then moving forward. So that way in tax season, when it rolls around, they'll be able to file their 2023 taxes. So that means you would have 10, well, more like 10 and a half months of back work that you would be able to charge this client, and then also charge them the monthly fee going forward. So I'm going to show you some examples of what that looks like. I didn't include it on the previous charts because it's a little bit harder to predict. And there's a wider range of fees that you can charge just depending on the client's size, how far they're behind in their bookkeeping, and what additional services that they might need. So I'm going to give you guys some examples so you kind of have an idea. So this first one, her name is Kim. She joined our academy on October 17th of 2022. She had a toddler at home, a 2-year-old. She was working part-time at an insurance agency's office, and she did have an accounting degree, but didn't have any bookkeeping experience. She got into our program and she landed her first client about 6 weeks after starting our Bookkeeper Academy. And then this client happened to be a larger company, so she was able to charge $2,200 per month. So she actually hit that first milestone with 1 instead of 4 clients. But as Kim started to get in and work with her clients' books, we actually helped her realize that the previous bookkeeper did not do the bookkeeping for January through October correctly. So she was able to go back and propose a cleanup job. We helped her put together the proposal and the quote, and it came up to about $9,000. Her client was so interested in having clean, clear financials to rely on. They needed it for loans. They needed it for other things because they were trying to grow their business. So they said, go ahead, take that out of my account. Let's get this done. And she was able to do that. So in her second month in business, she actually made over $11,000 in her bookkeeping business because of this cleanup job. So she was at the reoccurring figure of $2,200 per month, but she made $11,000 in her second month. Now, Bill, this is what I was mentioning. And for those of you guys that are wanting to have fast growth, if you get new clients every single month, you could easily hit 10 or 12 or $15,000 per month in total income because of these cleanup jobs. So if you're somebody that wants to grow really fast and focus a lot on marketing, you can definitely do that. Now, Kim, in her situation, she got this client and then she focused on learning how to do the cleanup job, which we help her with, learning how to do the monthly bookkeeping. So that way this client is really happy with her work, impressed. We show her how to provide world-class service, and then this client will start sending her referrals. So Kim actually grew pretty quickly. She had 3 clients like back to back to back that all had big cleanup jobs. And then after that, she kind of turned down her marketing, focused on learning how to do a really good job for these people. Then she got pregnant and she had her second child as well. So she kind of just coasted. So Erica, she's coasting right now, which is perfect for her. It's perfect because that works for her situation. But right after she got this client, she was able to quit her part-time job and be home with her toddler. Her toddler had been in the NICU and stuff like that when it was a baby. So she really hated the fact that she had to work. So being able to have these clients to give her the opportunity to be home. And then she was home during her whole pregnancy and home during the birth of her second child. And she's been able to be there the whole time. So that was really great for her. Now, if she had had the free time to keep going and going and going, she could have potentially, had $11,000 months like every single month, right? So that's an opportunity for you, Bill, or anybody else that, maybe doesn't have little kids at home or isn't actively growing their family. Erica says, how long would it usually take for her to do a cleanup job like that? So it varies. It's different for everyone. Let's calculate this up. A lot of times our students make about $200, sometimes $250 per hour on cleanup jobs, mostly because you can do it in batches. So when you're doing like 10 or 24 months all at once, instead of doing, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 for every month, and then starting over for the next month, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then starting over, you can do step 1 for all the months, and then step 2 for all the months. And you can zoom through the work so much faster. So a lot of times they end up making more. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think Kim tracked her hours on this particular job, but let's just say she made $200 per hour. So that would be approximately 45 hours it took her to do this. I am sure she probably spaced this cleanup job out over at a minimum of 6 weeks. Most of the time, you're not able to get them done like really quickly because you're going to need to ask your client questions. You're probably going to be waiting on documents for your clients. So what we usually help our students do in the academy is have a step-by-step game plan, do step 1, then see if you have any questions or if you're missing any documents. Then you go back to your client, get those things. Sometimes it takes a week or two for your clients to get it to you. Then you go back in and you do the next step. And then you usually get to some kind of other stopping point where then you have to go back and discuss with your client. So things like that. So we usually also help you set good expectations with your clients. So Erica, for your situation, as you have a newborn coming along, if you get a big cleanup job 2 weeks before you have this baby, we work with you to tell you, okay, we think it's going to take you about this long. So you need to tell your client, hey, I think it's going to take about 2 to 4 weeks for me to get this cleanup job done, pending any information that I need from you. So if you're able to get me everything right away, I should be able to have this done for you in about 4 weeks. So it doesn't have to be where you have to work like 20 hours in the next 2 days to get it all done. It's spaced out and you have time. So, for her 45 hours to do all of that, and it was probably done over like a 6-week to 8-week time frame. So great question. Great question. So now I'll give you another example. This is Alicia. She joined the academy on November 18th. She spent about 3 weeks getting her business set up and ready to go. And then she launched her marketing plan on December 11th. And 4 days later, on December 15th, she got her first client. This was right before the end of her first month in business. She was able to charge this client $1,500 per month because it was a little bit bigger than our average. And this particular client was behind 2 years in their bookkeeping because they were a little bit smaller than Kim's and needed a little bit different stuff. She was able to charge $6,000 to clean up the prior 2 years. So technically, Alicia made $7,500 in her first month in her bookkeeping business. So she had the $1,500 that's coming in regularly, but she had a $7,500 month in her first month. Now I did with Alicia, she did calculate up her cleanup jobs for me, and she was making about $250 per hour when she calculated how long it took her to do the cleanup job, divided it out between the $6,000 fee. She made about $250 an hour. So when we help you quote in this fixed price. Your client agrees to it, and then you have to do the work. And you can't typically charge them more because we do a fixed fee unless there's some more stuff that, wasn't brought to their attention or brought to your attention. But then it usually works out in your favor where you're actually making even more, which is great. And this is why we don't have you charge hourly, because the faster you get with bookkeeping too, the more reward you're going to get. And your clients never have any idea of what the hourly rate is, which is great. Now, I already mentioned this, but I like to showcase this. Jennifer, the one that I just showed you the Facebook message, in her 4th month in the academy, she got a client that was larger as well, $2,200 per month reoccurring. But this one was behind so much. She charged $32,000 for a cleanup job for this one, which was incredible. And this is why it took her a little bit longer to get to the $10,000 reoccurring mark, because she had so many clients where she got big cleanup jobs like this, that she took her time to really work through them. And she's gotten a lot of referrals from this client now because she did such a great job with getting the cleanup job done and keeping up on their monthly work that they've referred other people to her. But essentially, Jennifer made $34,000 in her 4th month in our academy. And the first 2 months that Jennifer was in the academy, she didn't do anything because she was scared. So we worked with her a lot on her mindset and worked with her on getting through the steps and just take action. Just do the 1%, like Vanessa said, just take one step. And as soon as Jennifer started to work on her mindset and realized, I'm just going to do it, what's the worst that can happen? This great things happened for her. So now she's also in our mastermind program where she's scaling her business. She has a separate department catering to restaurant owners. You can charge double to restaurants and be able to have a bigger profit there. So she's also creating a second department where she is catering specifically to restaurant owners as well. And like she mentioned, that Facebook message has hired her son, 2 of her sons, and her husband was going to retire or has already retired his job as well, so that they can work together to focus on the bookkeeping business. So now Jennifer's cleanup job of $32,000, if you guys go to my YouTube channel, you can watch the interview. Her name is Jennifer Beckwith. You can watch the interview. She talks about this job and how she actually broke that payment out over 4 months. And it took her about 4 months or so to actually get this cleanup job wrapped up. But they did pay that full amount to her over the course of 4 months. And she talks a lot about her journey in the academy if you want to check that out. A $32,000 cleanup job is not average. It's not typical. I have seen cleanup jobs from our students go as high as $75,000, which is mind-blowing. But just to give you guys an idea of the opportunity that's out there, those people are out there. What we typically see, though, in our academy are cleanup jobs that range anywhere from $1,500 up to about $10,000. That's what you can expect somewhere along that timeline. For almost every single client you get, you're going to have some type of cleanup job, which is really awesome, because if you think about it, if you get a cleanup job, like similar to what these ladies do, you can go ahead and start reaching some of your financial goals ahead of schedule, ahead of your reoccurring income goals, right? So if you want to be able to quit your job and you get a $10,000 cleanup job, you can put that money away for bills for the next 2 or 3 months and go ahead and quit your job. Or, there's lots of flexibility, lots of things to do. What would you guys do with it? Can you guys type in the chat? If you got a 6 or a 9 or a $5,000 cleanup job the first few times you got clients, what would you do with that money right away? Would you put it in savings so you could go ahead and quit your job and focus more on your business? Would you keep working your job and pay off debt? Would you just build up your savings account? What would you guys do? I'd love to know. Savings and pay off debt. I love it. Pay off debt, savings so I can retire my wife and bring her on board with this. Awesome. I love that, Bill. I love that you're planning on bringing your wife with this, because it's really awesome. My husband has worked for me on and off throughout this time. And of course, we have lots of kids. We have 5 kids. So a lot of times we're working like opposite of each other. But now that our kids have all decided they wanted to go to school, And my husband and I get to do this together, and it is super fun. We really, really love it. Pay off debt, quit job. You need this, girl. You need to quit your job. Teresa says travel would be a lot less. Yes, your huge travel schedule. Bill would hire oldest daughter later on. Love that. Love that. Thank you, honey. Vanessa says, put it towards an emergency savings for 6 months and put it towards academy payment. Yes, absolutely. So you have that money in your savings account and then pay off the academy investment early. Absolutely. That is fantastic. So now, just so you guys know, when these ladies got these potential clients, we help them understand how to handle all the steps leading up to getting paid, but all the steps that come after. So here's a little bit of the things that we do in the academy, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea, so that you understand how you're going to be supported. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but we help them understand how to conduct their new client discovery call. We have a script for that. We help them understand how to ask all the right questions so they're able to put together a proper quote, show them how to propose it and present the value to the client so that they were able to explain that, and that way the client would say yes. And then once they had these clients and the client said, sure, let's go, we help them understand how to efficiently onboard the new clients, get all the information that they need to be able to get started. Then we show them how to break down the cleanup jobs into a manageable step-by-step process. We help them understand exactly how to do the cleanup work in the accounting software, and then how to do the ongoing monthly work so they make a minimum of $100 per hour doing this work. But most importantly, what we taught these ladies was actually how to find these clients as well. And as you guys know, that is called marketing. So we're going to talk here a little bit about marketing. Does everybody have questions about that? So for marketing, our students usually only spend about an hour a day on their marketing, sometimes more in the beginning and then less as they start to take on their first few clients. And then they ramp it back up again once they get a little bit more comfortable with the bookkeeping. But the more you put into marketing, the faster you're going to grow. But the one key thing with marketing, even if you only have about an hour a day to work on it, is consistency, keeping it going consistently. There is a small ramp up period with marketing, so you want to make sure that it's just constantly churning, so that way you don't have that downtime, that downslope. But there are 3 main methods that we teach our students to get clients. And all 3 methods have been proven to take our students from $0 to $100,000 per year in their business within the first 12 months, sometimes even before that. But each method has been proven to do that. So even if you only picked one, we know you can get to that 100K mark with that particular route. Now, if you do all 3, it just makes it easier to hit that number, and you could likely get there quicker. But this gives you an opportunity to choose which method works best for you, your personality, your schedule, your preferences, all that kind of stuff. But again, if you do all 3, you'll just get there faster. So I'm going to go over those 3 different things. If you guys have questions on any of them, don't hesitate to drop that in the chat or the Q&A. And then at the end, I'd like to do a little vote on which ones that you guys are going to be doing. So the first one of 3, is social media marketing. The first method we teach is all organic social media. There's typically no cost associated with this. We help you utilize the platforms you're most familiar with to find and connect with business owners. For example, if you're on Facebook or Facebook groups, LinkedIn, Instagram, anything that you're familiar with. We show you how to find business owners, connect with them, but then to also post content that actually gets business owners interested in reaching out to you. So if you post things and it intrigues business owners, then they oftentimes, since so many people need bookkeeping, you could potentially get messages from people that say, hey, I'm looking for help in this area. I didn't know you offered it. This is awesome. Can we hop on a call? And so that is how a lot of our students have gotten clients. Kim, in fact, the one that got the $9,000 cleanup job, she got that first client from our step one of social media marketing. By following our process in there, that client was referred to her by one of Kim's high school friends, and her friend saw that she was creating her bookkeeping business, saw that this other person that she knew needed bookkeeping help, and they connected them. So it can be really a powerful tool to utilize social media, and it's free. And we don't even necessarily suggest that you cold message people. However, in a bookkeeping business, that also does work really well, because what we are offering is not a product that people may or may not want or need. It's a service that is very valuable. And sometimes people are just like, they just need help. They need information. So we had a new student, her name's Elena. She joined a couple of weeks ago, and she said that she just took a leap and she DM'd about 11 different business owners on Instagram that she knew personally and said, hey, my name's Elena. I just opened my bookkeeping business not too long ago, and I wanted to let you know if you ever need help in that area, I'm available. So just holler, don't hesitate to reach out. Out of those 11 messages that she sent, probably took her 10 minutes. She got 3 people that booked discovery calls with her. So that's how, important bookkeeping is and how many people actually are looking for this service. So, but you don't even have to private message people in order for the social media marketing to work. So that's the first thing. We show you exactly how to do all of that. Second thing that we teach is finding networking groups. So there are certain networking groups that we suggest that you join. And a lot of these groups are what's called industry exclusive. So there will not be any other bookkeepers in these groups. It will literally you will be the only bookkeeper. And we help you create a strategy around attending these groups so that you can get the most out of it. What ends up happening is all the other members of the group basically become little marketing minions for you. And so they start telling their clients and their friends and family about you as a bookkeeper. And then you get referrals from them and from their friends and family. And so they help you grow your business as well. Now, these networking groups are typically local, so it's the one thing that does sometimes require you to go out into your local community. Sometimes there are online options though, but and there also is a small investment for this one. It can be anywhere from $500 to $800 for the year. I invested about $500 into a networking group like this, and I made $60,000 in my first year of being a member of that group. So it was really incredible. And as you start to work from home, it's nice to once a week get out and meet with these people. And we met over lunch, and it kind of became like a second little family for me. And it was really nice to kind of get out of the house and just meet with other business owners. So that can be a really great strategy, but it can also be pretty fun, even if you are an introvert, because they're really small groups and you really get to know people like family. So that's a second method that works really well. Terry, who's in our academy right now in September, she had a $7,000 month that she tracked back specifically to her networking group, which is cool. Then the third step, which is also very, very powerful, is email marketing. So we show you how to get clients doing email campaigns, and we target 2 specific audiences. One is general business owners that would potentially be your clients, but then also we target tax offices. So as you guys know, every single business has to have their bookkeeping done in order to get their taxes done. But did you know that most tax people don't like doing bookkeeping? So it becomes this problem for them when they get new clients and their clients don't have their bookkeeping done. They can't do the taxes. So what happens is a lot of tax people will partner with bookkeeping firms, and they will refer out the bookkeeping clients to you. Then you can do the bookkeeping and then say, okay, John, the bookkeeping is done. You can proceed with their tax preparation. And so if you can get in good with a couple of tax partners and we help you create that tax relationship, referral relationship with them, then they will consistently send you clients over and over again. So Kaylee and Jason Douglas, we went to Jamaica with them last month, and they're the ones that are on track to have a $500,000 year year this year in their bookkeeping business. And they haven't really had to do any marketing for the last couple of years because they have a couple of really great tax partners that are just feeding them clients. And so they don't have to spend time doing the marketing because they've already got it set up where it just kind of comes in on its own, which is really cool. So we have a couple of different, if we can set up a couple of different of those, you'll have a lot of clients coming in. This typically doesn't cost anything either, unless you want to use some email softwares that will help you speed it up and reach out to more people. We currently have a marketing workshop going on live in our academy right now, walking people through how to do this exact campaign. So if you join the academy this coming week, you'll be able to join in on those calls and also watch the replay from the calls that went on this last week, which is really cool. So based on these, 1 is social media, 2 is networking, and 3 is email marketing. Type in the chat the numbers 1, 2, and 3, or all of them, or whatever numbers you want to do when you start marketing for your business. Which ones would you do? 1, 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 3, or 1, 2, and 3. Vanessa's going to do all of them. Perfect. I love that. Bill's going to do 1 and 2. Okay. 1 and 3 for Teresa, 1 and 2 for Zinda and Erica. Awesome. Love it. Okay. Do you guys want to see the exact features of our Bookkeeper Academy so I can show you exactly how you're going to be supported should you decide to enroll in the Academy, how our team is going to help you reach these goals? You guys all want to see that? Thumbs up? Yes? Okay, great. Awesome. Appreciate you guys being so chatty in the chat box. Makes it more fun for me. Okay, so first of all, we run some of our support out of a private members only Facebook group. The one that's showing here is our Have Your Cake and Eat It Too Facebook group. That's our free group, but we have a small private one just for our students. And there's about 200 students in there in their first year of growing their bookkeeping business, which is really nice because you can collaborate with all of those people and be able to work together. Have this really awesome sense of community of others who are on the same journey in business, but also in life. And then we have about 30 students that are in their second, third, and fourth years in the program. For example, Jen Beckwith is in there, Alicia's in there, Kaylee Douglas is in there, all the ladies that I've been talking about. They are all in there too. So you get to collaborate with them, network with them, see what their questions are at their stage in their business. They also answer your questions sometimes, and sometimes they even do guest coaching where they get on calls and talk about their businesses, which is great. But we also have 8 to 10 other team members that are in there as well that are all experts in either mindset, growing a business, marketing, doing bookkeeping, become business owners, sales, all that kind of stuff. So you have access to all of those people as well that will help you grow your business. Now, typically how the Facebook group works is by asking questions. Like, for example, Aya says, do we need a website? So you could post that in the support group and then you're going to get an answer. Every single question that's asked gets an answer. And to answer your question, Aya, you don't actually need a website to have a profitable bookkeeping business. We walk you through kind of setting up your back office, and we do show you how to create a website using ClickFunnels if you want one, but you could literally just use your Facebook business page kind of as your website in the beginning. We feel like it's great to have a website, but if it's going to take you 10 or 20 hours to get it all set up, then we would rather you devote that 10 or 20 hours into marketing, because whether you have a website or not, you're still going to have the same results if you devote that time into marketing. Does that make sense? But as we go along in the Facebook group, every single question that is asked gets answered, and they can be on any topic that you can think of. So some examples would be like a sales question, marketing, quoting, QuickBooks Online, technical bookkeeping, technical tax questions, workflow, mindset, anything like that. and we answer questions. Currently, our schedule right now is 6 days a week. Monday through Thursday, it's 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Friday, it's 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have Saturday schedule, although we have a delayed answer time on Saturdays. For the weekdays, we answer every question typically in under 45 minutes. So if you have a question, you're going to get an answer really fast during that entire range. It's an average of 45-minute response time. This is really awesome for you because it can get you a quick answer to what you need, whatever is keeping you stuck or maybe confused. And then you'll be able to move past that really fast and on to the next best thing to help you reach your goals. And then you're going to have a ton of time back because you won't have to research and watch a million YouTube videos and then try to determine what information is actually correct. You can just come to our team, ask us, we'll explain it all and get you on your way. Saturdays, we do answer every question on Saturdays. We just have a slower response time on Saturdays because the demand is lower. A lot of people don't post on Saturdays, and we don't cover questions on Sundays, but we do answer them all Monday morning. And these times change depending on the seasons. Like during tax seasons, we usually have more shifts, more hours covered. But we do also track every single question that's being asked in there. So here's a screenshot from our team meeting we had one week. As you can see, the first column shows there were 578 tickets. That's what we call them, but they were actually questions that were asked in the group. Cool thing about that is you guys get to see all the questions that are being asked, and you can read all of the responses as well. So you can learn from all of this, which is really fantastic. But out of the 578 questions that were asked, 410 of them, or 71%, were able to be resolved with the first answer. So you asked a question, our team was able to fully explain the answer to that question and teach you what you need to know on the first response. So that happened within an average of 42 minutes. On occasion, we'll probably have to ask you sometimes, like, can you clarify that? Or here's a follow-up question to your question. And then we have a little bit of back and forth until we know for sure that we understand your question and that we are fully explaining it. And so the rest of those questions were fully answered within about 65 minutes. So really quick, you can get all of your questions, even if it's back and forth, answered within about an hour, which is fantastic. So this works really well when you have clients. And I know a lot of you, no one's asked on this call, but I get asked this a lot. What do you do if your clients ask you a question that you don't know? Because obviously you guys are going to be a little bit new to bookkeeping. So what we typically tell our students is to say, I'm not really sure about that. Let me check on something and I will get back with you. And so then you come into the group, you post a question, we educate you, and then you're able to go back and educate your client. Your client will be super impressed, and then you'll learn that thing forever. So the next time a client asks you that, you're going to know it. So really awesome that you have such quick response times there. But in addition to that, we also have 7 to 8 Zoom calls every single week, sometimes more. The main ones are scheduled Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Time, and we have one on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central. Our marketing workshop was all at 6:30 Central all last week as well, every single day last week. And then in tax season, we'll probably add a few more calls as well. Most of them are general Q&A. So you'll be able to get on these calls, listen to other people's questions, or ask your own questions, just like you guys are doing now. Some of them are topic specific. So like on Monday and Friday's call isn't listed on here, but we do have one on Friday. Monday and Friday are dedicated to mindset. So if you have something that's, holding you back, maybe some fear or a belief about something, or, you're scared about quoting, you have some money mindset things you want to work through, we talk about all of those things also on these calls to help you get past any of those blocks. One of them on Friday is called Overcoming What's Blocking You. And so it can really help you get past that. Now, the lady that leads the Friday call that's called Overcoming What's Blocking You, she is also a coach and a student. She she worked for me for quite a while and then saw everybody getting success. So she said, "Hey, I want to be a student too." So she decided to launch her bookkeeping business in July. And from July to October, she made $20,000 in her bookkeeping business. And simply because there's nothing that's been holding her back at all. So she leads the calls on overcoming what's blocking you so you can have the same success that she had. Which is really, really awesome. They usually last about an hour. Sometimes they're longer, depending on how many people are on and how many questions are asked. But we stay on to make sure everybody gets all of their questions answered. We also have a client success director that supports you one-on-one over email and texting. So if you ever have a question or you need to talk about, something with your goals or your business, she can help you with that and then also point you into the direction of like, what's the best training to look at? What do you need to get to the next level? Because in our academy, you're also going to have access to a ton of coursework, but it's not always going to be the best use of your time to just sit and go through all the coursework until maybe something comes up where you need to learn that specific item. And so our client success director will guide you through the coursework and let you know what's going to be the most important step for you to take so you can reach your goals. So typically what we see as a typical journey in the Bookkeeper Academy is the first couple of weeks, you're going to be setting up your business back office, getting ready for clients. Like I mentioned, Erica, these are all like the one-time things that you're going to be doing. You're going to learn the basics of bookkeeping and business ownership, learn how to provide amazing service to your clients and what that looks like. Then you'll be able from there to communicate intelligently with a potential client, and you'll have the script and understand how does a client discovery call actually go. So the first couple of weeks, you'll be kind of in learning mode, and you should get through that all within about 2 weeks if you have about 1 to 2 hours a day to get through some of the coursework and the action item steps. Then from there, you're going to start right on into working on your marketing plan. So you're going to go through the marketing module that talks about the social media, the email, and the networking, and you're going to determine what exactly do I want to do and kind of work with our team to develop your marketing plan and start launching it. And then you're going to get consistency with that. And what we typically see is most of our students will start enrolling their first couple of clients by the second month at least. Now, we have students like Kelsey who joined on a Saturday webinar, just like what you guys are on. By Monday, she got in the academy, and by Tuesday, she already had her first potential client. So it's very easy to get people really quickly. But if you want to get everything set up before you start looking for clients, this is kind of the path that we see our students go. And so in month 2, you're going to get help with the cleanup jobs, onboarding, doing the client work, understanding the process, really learning how to be a bookkeeper. And then month 3 through 12, it's kind of like rinsing and repeating, continuing with your marketing, continuing getting new clients and onboarding them and learning how to do the work. Over time, this will help you become an expert bookkeeper. And we're going to support you as you get experience working with clients from all different industries, because each industry does have a little bit of differences with the clients. We want you to be able to feel confident and comfortable by the time your year is up in the academy that you can work with anyone. And then we help you throughout that whole year to set the foundation for a profitable business that gives you financial, location, and time freedom. And then from there, we also have the option for you to renew and stay in the Bookkeeper Academy. It's half price for your second and subsequent years, or you can choose to upgrade and join one of our mastermind programs. We have a marketing mastermind, an operations team building mastermind, and a restaurant bookkeeping specialty mastermind program that you can upgrade into as well. So I'm definitely happy to take questions now. Aya says, is everything done digitally or do we need office equipment? So everything is done online. So what you would need to start out with is just a basic computer or laptop, internet, and you might actually need Microsoft Excel. That is about the only thing that you're actually going to need. Now, as you get clients, a lot of students really like, I'm going to stop sharing this real quick. A lot of students really like to get a double monitor set up. So that way you can work on one screen on QuickBooks and see your client's bank account information on the other. So it's really kind of nice to have two screens, but that's something that you do to upgrade as you as you get more clients and you have more money coming in and you want to be more efficient with your time. So if you want to set that up right from the beginning, you can go ahead and get, 2 screens. I like having a PC because it's fast. It's faster than a laptop, or at least mine is. But it's yeah, perfectly doable to have that also on a laptop. Bill, it doesn't matter if you have Windows or Mac, because everything is Chrome based. QuickBooks, email, all that kind of stuff, it's all internet based. So you can use a Mac or a PC, Windows, doesn't matter. The only time where the Mac has a problem is if you're using QuickBooks Desktop. But we typically suggest that you have your clients convert to QuickBooks Online, even if you do happen to find a client that wants to use QuickBooks Desktop. We convert them to online. So I know that QuickBooks Desktop doesn't always work well with Mac, but we have lots of students that use Macs as well. I think almost everybody on my team uses a Mac. So great question. Great question. So I'm going to show you guys really quick the funding route here. So if anybody wants to get started, I'd love to kind of get an idea of what everybody wants to do too. So if you are not going to be applying for funding today because you don't have the down payment available, that is okay. But I would love for you to fill out this form for me so we can kind of get an idea of what your game plan is. So I'm going to drop this here in the chat. The first form is for US based funding. So if you want to get started today, then you can go ahead and fill that out. And it's going to take you to this website here. You'll click apply now. You'll put $12,000 in and you'll go through the process to apply. Now, it's going to take you about 5 minutes to apply. Within a couple of hours, you're going to hear back. And then you'll book your call with the lender. You'll make the down payment, and then we'll be able to start onboarding you into the academy. It is super easy. That's really all it takes. If you're in Canada, you'll need to apply with that second link there. And then if you want to do this, but you're not quite ready to apply today, go ahead and click that third link. And this is just a really quick form that way we can keep track and follow up with you in the future when you are ready to apply, when you think you're going to have that down payment available. Bill says will be December 1st, most likely. Perfect. That sounds great. And then, of course, if anybody wants to just pay directly and not have to go through the funding and go through that process, you're welcome to do that as well. Sean is going to text everybody, get you guys all access to the recording of this call, and you'll have access to his cell phone. So if you have any questions, you can also text him. If you want to pay directly, we can also send you over an invoice, and you can do that. We can just get you right into the academy ASAP, and you can get started setting up your business and working on it and getting ready to roll before tax season gets here. So any other questions that you guys have for me today? You guys all had wonderful questions and wonderful goals. And I'm super excited to see all of you guys in the academy and helping you grow your business and reaching all of your financial goals for your family, knocking off some of those bucket list items and being able to travel and pay off debt and increase your savings and all those kinds of things. So either way, when Sean texts you guys as well too, please just let us know, give us some feedback on the Zoom call, what you thought of it, what your thoughts are on starting a bookkeeping business. We're always really interested to know everybody's game plan and see, if this is for you and what your thoughts are on it as well. So any other questions before I let you guys go enjoy your Saturday? And don't forget, we're always available. We're always here to help. If you think of any questions down the road, and if you don't hear from Sean today, please email us and let us know, because sometimes our messages don't always go through. So please let us know if you don't hear from us today. All right, if there isn't any more questions, I'll let you guys go, but please click that link and apply for funding, or click that link and fill out the form real quick before I close down this meeting. And Bill says, when we hire, do we need to pay again for them to go through the course? So no, whenever you hire team members, they're actually not going to be members of the academy. They're going to be just members of your team. So what will help you do is likely hire people that already have the bookkeeping skills and knowledge. So we'll help you figure out, who you're looking for, what skills that you're going to be looking for, test them before you bring them on. So that way you don't have to spend a lot of time training them. They're already going to know how to do a lot of the bookkeeping stuff. They just don't know how to be business owners, or maybe they don't want to. And so they'll just kind of come right into that. Oh, for your wife, yes, anybody that joins the academy, their spouses get to join along with them on the same membership. So you and your wife can both come into the academy together. So yeah, absolutely. Yep. Happy to do that as well. And we love when we have teams like that. It's really fun. So Robin, who runs our Overcoming What's Blocking You, calls on Fridays, and she also is the one that made about $20,000 in her first 3 months of launching her business. Her and her husband are doing it together as well. So she's handling some of the marketing, he's handling most of the bookkeeping and things like that. So yep, you can structure it however you want, but husbands and wives can both come in under the same membership. All right. Well, I'm really looking forward to working with you guys. It's going to be awesome. I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Again, I'll be back on here on Thursday and Saturday of next week. If anybody wants to join again or thinks of more questions, don't hesitate to text Sean or email either one of us, and we will be happy to answer all of your questions. All right. I look forward to chatting with you guys soon. I will see you later. Bye.